Hey guys, JJK again. This is going to be what if Yuji was the reincarnation of Mashal. Now, Mashal is from Mashal, Magic and Muscle, and I honestly don't think that, well, I do think that Mashal could likely solo JJK alone. The only issue would probably be Gojo's Infinity, and with how adaptive he is and just how annoying his strength is, I can see him just punching through Gojo's Infinity ironically, which is just a joke to be honest, but I think he'd probably be one of the only characters to punch through Gojo's Infinity with just raw force. I think it'd just be funny to have that happen. But yeah, so Yuji would basically be Mashal. So yeah. But we'd begin the story with I'd probably just say Yuji growing up. As I'm gonna pull a Saitama-esque thing where Yuji's limiter is he's born with a limiter that's extremely low. So when his grandfather teaches him martial arts, his limiter breaks a while ago, and he's basically at the peak of his body for years. So he just trains his peak. Point that by the time he meets Gojo, well, not by the time he meets Gojo, but actually I'm gonna say by the time we get to the first episode where first the teacher will ask him to beat him in a shot put, and if he loses, he has to join a sports club. So, anytime he just throw the ball, he basically just throws it to the point where he kind of just atomizes a portion of the soccer post and then the fence behind it, and then basically creates a massive explosion from the impact of it landing about a little over 200 yards away. Hold up. Yeah, I think 200 yards sounds good for you. The world record is probably about 25 yards. And 200 yards is just Yuji trying to get the man out of his hair, not going full force. If he did, there may not be a city to stand in. Or a city in general. But yeah. So with this, Yuji would basically go throughout the day being normal. But Wasuke basically tells Yuji that Yuji is not normal. He gives Wasuke the same speech, but he actually tells Yuji that his body is too exceptional to be human, and he needs to use that to save everyone else. Basically calls Yuji that he's a different kind of human. So, yeah, this kind of just, Yuji is told that he's not a normal human and he needs to use that. So this actually, the occult, he thinks the occult club, he thinks his immediate thought is that he can fight ghosts for the occult club. That's his immediate thought. But little does he know, later he meets Megumi, and Megumi and Yuji bump into each other. The thing is, Megumi bumps into Yuji, he feels like he bumps into a brick wall. Kind of like how Haruta and Nanami interacted. Haruta would kick Nanami in the gut, and it's like they kicked a wall. Megumi bumped into Yuji and fell, looked up at a brick wall, but then realized it was a person. Yuji helped him up pretty easily, and eventually this does lead to the whole finger fiasco. But when Yuji was swooped through the window to punch or save Megumi from the curse, his one kick killed it. So yeah, he had control of strength, so he didn't destroy the entire floor they were on with a strong kick. But the thing is, while he's trying to control his strength, he immediately would slip, miss his footing, and as he falls, the finger falls into his mouth. He tried to spit it out. It didn't come out. So Yuji is still stuck in his vessel, which is kind of annoying for Yuji. When Sukuna tries to take over, he already has a strong soul and mental power. Mashal's low willpower and persuasiveness is through the roof. So I can see Yuji not even being phased by Sukuna and literally just forces it down. What Yuji would equate it to himself is just trying to resist the urge to throw up. So that's kind of what he's doing. Sukuna just resisting the urge to throw up is basically what he's doing. But eventually they go to the roof, they see more curses coming, and Megumi would watch Yuji with one hand kill and destroy grade 2 curses. And they're rushing Yuji as fast as possible, and he's basically punching through them and throwing them around like they're nothing. Best way I'd equate it is about to have a proper fight. Pause. I don't have a way to describe how Yuji assaults these curses. I just equate it to imagine Goku versus Nappa, but 10 times over. Is basically what Yuji's doing to these curses. One punch, he'll appear behind the other, on top of it, then punch through it. It's just not that hard for him to do. Where Megumi immediately thinks that Yuji might be a special grade, how easy taking down curses. He's doing a giant blobby curse that may be a grade 1, and Yuji put one hand through it, ripped it in half, and that was it. He killed grade 1 in a single swipe. So immediately Gojo will come back over. He'll come back, but he comes over. And while he's there, he would basically get the whole rundown. He asks Yuji if he can force Sukuna out. He says, oh yeah, pretty easy. and immediately he punched himself in the stomach, almost about to vomit, but the weakness in his body, he'd force out Sukuna at the same time, so Sukuna wakes up vomiting, which he didn't like, but he sees Gojo. Immediately he goes in for a punch, because he kind of gets who Gojo is with the 6 eyes, and then, yeah. Immediately the punch is stopped, but Gojo actually has to, like, him to the ground, because the shockwave of it is pushing him back. Who's wondering, what's wrong with this brat's body? So he begins basically doing a combo of punches, kicks, knees, all that. Gojo isn't going to be hit, but the shockwave is still moving him. Like, it's not hurting, but it's shoving him away. So, yeah. So, I'm trying to tell you that Sukuna doesn't, like, win the fight at all. He's still bullied. But me, Gojo looks at Megumi saying, "What's wrong with this kid's body? Is that just Sukuna?" He's like, Megumi says, "No, he tore grade 1 in half with one arm. I'm not sure how it's physically possible, but he did it." Which is, alright, so the kid's a freak. Megumi says, "Yes, I'm guessing high grade 1, maybe even special grade. He's not even a sorcerer. He could not even see a curse till he punched it. He just guessed." Gojo just put his head down and said, "Oh, alright, I get it." And that was it. So with that, they bring Yuji over to Yaga. When it comes to, like, Yaga, his whole thing, like, first when, like, you just catch the little, like, stuffed animal, Yuji just punched the air, and the curse stopped to just block. Only be grabbed, held on to by Yuji. And Yaga says, "You fail. Can you let it go before you tear it in half?" He says, "Well, not tear it in half, but kind of just, like, tear it." He nods, and then he gets the curse again, but he pretty easily gets everything under control and says what he wants. Or not what he wants, but what Yaga wanted to hear. So, yeah. And then we go on to the next day, where they have to get, like, Saki. This time, Megumi goes in the building with them, simply because he is not beaten up by Sukuna or injured by any curses. Yuji pretty easily handled that. Megumi was not really too harmed. And if anything, he has a few bandages from debris hitting him. So, yeah. But we move on to after that, to probably... I would say this Kurosaki thing wasn't really too difficult. Just when you punch through concrete, he would just grab the curse and just crush it, like that. But he just crushes its back, and it would be where its spine would be. And then Kurosaki would just hammer it down. Now, she does actually ask Yuji how he punches through concrete. He says, "I don't know, been doing that for like 10 years. It's not hard to do. You try it." He would punch the wall, it cracks a little bit, but she hurts her hand, and she calls Yuji a freak of nature. And he says, "No, you're just weak." And they go downstairs, she argues with him. Megumi simply tells Kurosaki, he tears curses in our grade in half with no difficulty. Don't argue with him and escalate it into a fight. He'd kill you. And me. I'm not much about anyone else. Maybe Gojo's point person who would stop him. As Megumi is just seriously hyping up Yuji's strength because it knows no bounds and he kind of figures that. Lotus goes the same until it comes to the Finger Bearer versus Yuji. Yuji tells Megumi on a series to find Kurosaki for the first blue mark, and Yuji has to fight the Finger Bearer alone. Well, Finger Bearer tries to go in for an energy blast, only for Yuji to punch it, and immediately it basically just bends. Like, it bends around his fist, and he punches it back at the curse. Kind of just defying logic. As Yuji's fists, well, they're defying a lot of stuff. Finger Bearer tries to dodge his own blast, but won't let it hit a duct. Yuji would appear below it, and immediately, well, he just yelled Ballistic Knuckle, or Ballista Knuckle, and would basically just dash and punch the curse in the face full force. And Megumi thought he heard, well, an explosion. Megumi rushes upstairs, here's after getting Kurosaki, and he just sees the Finger Bearer's upper half is basically non-existent, and the entire wall is just gone. Same for the curtain. The curtain's gone too. Ichichi is just holding his head, wondering what happened, thinking the students died. But Megumi walks out with Sukuna's finger, only for Yuji's hand to then suddenly grow a giant mouth, and snatch the finger, engulfing it, trying to take over Yuji's body again, only for Yuji to punch himself in the arm and yell, "Bad Sukuna." But Yuji wasn't even face by face by his own punch, which Sukuna was protected by, which he thanked, kind of. But, yeah, Sukuna can't take over, but he can kind of just lightly possess, like, a limb or two for, like, a minute, and that's about it. Like, he can possess his hand for, like, a minute and just argue with Yuji. That's it. Yuji was wondering what happening, and Yuji said, oh, he punched a special grade really hard, and that was it. Immediately, Yuji just held his head, saying, if the public heard that boom, cops are going to be here within minutes. Yuji says, I think I got that. Immediately he would grab Kurosaki, Megumi, and Ichichi, and he just vanishes. They repair Tokyo Tech pretty quickly, because the Mashal is massively faster than light. So, assuming that there's at least like a barrier of sound or wind protecting them from the speed of light. But them, I mean Kurosaki, Megumi, and Iijishi. Iijishi waits out the car, and it comes back pretty quickly as well, with Yuji kind of just dashing back and forth with really no difficulty. He's just that fast. So, yeah. But then with this, well, Gojo mentions that Yuji is a all, like, hands fighter, and he doesn't even use Christian energy, he just uses raw strength. So with this, she would bring Yuji down to, like, the, so I guess like, to watch movies still. And he tells everyone else how Yuji's in the training just control Christian energy. And anytime he gets disrupted and the curse starts to move, he just squeezes it and it calms down. So, yeah. Also, he has Kung Fu movies, and it's copying those because he finds those more entertaining. Which Gojo didn't mind. So, yeah. Pause. Sorry about that. So when it comes to like just watching movies, Yuji does that, Gojo does Kung Fu movies. But then eventually Gojo would bring Yuji to, well, he doesn't really teleport, he just tells Yuji. Again, Yuji just like his phone, it just has coordinates, and Yuji's like, oh, thanks. Gojo vanishes, and Yuji reappears next to him. Oh, not too long after, but he's jumping in place because he's on water. Immediately, Jogo's like, 1, who's that kid? 2, how is he standing on water? He says, oh, he's not standing, he's jumping really fast. Don't question his body, it's weird. Jogo just says he's gonna kill Gojo and him in one go, trying to use his domain. Once the domain goes around Yuji, he just says it's hot, walks over, and punches at the wall, which Gojo didn't expect anything to happen until the entire thing just crumbled. Jogo immediately looks around, like first to the wall, to Yuji, to Gojo, to the wall, to Yuji, to Gojo, and just yells, "How the hell did he do that?" Yuji says, "I don't know. Fist out, wall crumble. Can they not do that?" Gojo punches the wall, says, "It cracks. It doesn't crumble," which is impressive. I'm using blue on my fist. Yuji, let me punch you. Immediately Yuji says, "Oh, sure, why not?" He lets Gojo punch him, full force, and immediately the entire domain crumbles with basically the reverberation of Yuji's body reflecting Gojo's damage. Not reflecting, but just exerting it. So immediately Jogo's domain entirely crumbles, then Yuji's back in the water. But the thing is, when he hits the water, he yells he can't swim. When he yells, he says, he just like simply says, I can't swim, and just sinks. Immediately, though, Jogo says, oh, he's gonna drown. He begins trying to boil the water with his hand. But suddenly, Yuji would burst from the water, and immediately just grab Jogo by both legs and tearing him in half. As he then yells, making the water too hot. Jogo immediately pulls his hand back, trying to make the water less hot. Sorry about that. So Jogo, being torn in half from underneath, tries to get Yuji off of him by top boiling the water. Gojo tries to tell Yuji to keep tearing him in half. Yuji doesn't hear him because he's underwater. Jogo jumps away, holding between his legs. But immediately, Gojo would just appear behind him, punch him in the face, or punch him in the back of the head, sending his head flying off. Immediately, Yuji would come from underneath, trying to basically just spike Jogo's head into pieces. But suddenly, Hanami arrives, taking the punch, kind of, having his entire shoulder blown apart, but protects Jogo's head and escapes. And immediately, when Jogo and Hanami return, best way to describe it is that Hanami is questioning Kenjaku about what he knew about this kid and described Yuji. Hanami says, Kenjaku says, oh yeah, that kid, he's meant to be Sukuna's vessel. They don't say anything about they fought Sukuna, then they described how they fought Yuji. Kenjaku's like, those aren't Sukuna's abilities, that might just be this kid's base power. So if Sukuna takes over, those types are going to be amped. If you fought Sukuna, you'd be dead already, because Hanami, you'd be in pieces with that punch. And immediately Hanami says, I kind of just shrugged it away, so I think I would have been in pieces regardless. And Kenjaku's kind of surprised that Yuji's this powerful, despite not even using Christian energy properly yet. But eventually, when it comes for the Kyoto Goodwill event, Yuji still trains at Nanami the entire time. They meet Junpei, they meet Mahito. All that, not much changes, to be completely honest. I would say this arc is honestly the exact same size from Yuji learning Black Flash from seeing Nanami do it. Because Mashlow's very adaptive. And seeing someone, I'm not saying it's copying, but Yuji would pretty quickly learn off of just basic instruction. So, I'm pretty sure you could probably pretty easily learn Black Flash just based off of words, not even needing Toto yet. So, yeah. So it comes down to it, we can move on to the Kyoto Goodwill event actually beginning, and then Toto versus Yuji, which would be the only start, because I'd cover more of Yuji and Junpei's relationship, but there's not really much differences. So, yeah, that arc's kind of just null and void, which is kind of sad to me, but still there's not much that would change in my opinion. But yeah, just a Goodwill event for Yuji vs. Toto. Yuji still asks about slapping women, but honestly, his type would probably change just because of strength. And hold up real quick. Sorry about that. I would say that that he would probably still describe his usual interest, but also he wants someone who's also strong. So strong and very curvy women is his reference. And Toto would actually specify like strong-willed or strong powerful. And he flexes his muscle. He says powerful. Toto says good choice. Then the fight begins. Here's one of them. Toto would try to punch Yuji in the face. He hit Yuji, and his fist hurt immediately. He was not even holding his swollen fist. Yuji says, "Oh yeah, you can't hit me. It's gonna hurt a lot. Well, you're gonna get hurt a lot regardless." And before Toto can even ask why, suddenly he's grabbed from behind, and Yuji just says, "Hellfall," and just suplexes Toto into the ground. Well, Toto hits the ground, and he's just kind of just twitching. Yuji stands back up and says, "You alive?" Kind of just poking Toto. Toto just twitches more. Yuji even pulls him out. Toto just has a giant bump on his head and doesn't get back up. So, yeah. So he kind of just smacks him in the face. Toto doesn't get back up, but Yuji knows he's alive. Picks up Toto and just kind of throws him, and then he heals for Gojo. Gojo appears, grabbing him and dropping him by Shoko. So Toto's immediately out off of just one punch from Yuji, and about 15 seconds into the match. So Yuji tries to walk around, not being able to sense anyone near him. And as he walks and wanders, well, we're going to go away from him. We're going to go into Panda, who honestly is not really changed at all. Only change might be Megumi. Because Yuji was training a lot and he was alive, him for Nobara. Their spirits were kind of just really high. Megumi and Nobara were just really strong because they want to catch up to Yuji. That's the only thing that they want to catch up to Yuji. Because he's a beginner and he's already special grade according to Gojo. So with this, they want to be that strong. So with this, they train pretty hard. When we're Megumi, I'd probably compare him to give him if you were to fight Toto instead, that would have been his Chimera Shadow Garden fight. So yeah, so he fights against Noritoshi, using more and more synergy, being able to actually push Noritoshi to the edge and beat him. And other than that, every other fight's the exact same. Except for Nobara, who probably used Black Flash because she's learning it pretty quickly. She's learning pretty quickly to catch up to Yuji. And then we go on to I'd say Hanami arriving, and Megumi would likely be fighting her with Maki, but Yuji would tell Megumi would tell Maki to back off, and he has a plan, and he would use Chimera Shadow Garden against Hanami. This is where he awakens it. He used it, having the original stance and all that, the same emotional moment not emotional, but badass moment that he had on the bridge with the finger bearer. There's a more dangerous threat. So Hanami's being distracted. Immediately Maki asks, where's that strong guy on your team? And he says, he doesn't know. You usually can't sense your synergy. He doesn't know directions. He's stupid. Maki says, all right, so we have our own Toto here at this point. Is that what you're saying? Immediately Megumi's like, yeah, what are you getting at? He says, if you yell, will he come? Sounds really weird, I know. But he says, probably not me, probably Kuchisaki, because it means he's in trouble. Immediately Maki decided to yell herself, and she mentioned, don't get your ass over here. Yuji immediately appeared behind her and says, am I in trouble? She says, you are if you don't help us beat her ass. Hanami saw Yuji and immediately just said, not again. He's like, oh yeah, you're that Curses whose shoulder I blew apart. How's it back? Hanami just says that she's a flower, she regrew it. Suddenly, the entire shoulder is punched off again, and she simply tells Hanami he's going to go for the other arm now. Hanami tries to evade Yuji, even trying to use domain expansion, but when Hanami used sure hit effect, the blast of light that Hanami's domain emits, Yuji was just he vanished. And immediately would just use Big Bang Dash, but he slams right into Hanami, sending Hanami through her own domain. So Yuji evaded her hit effect and at the last moment with his insane speed. We're having Gojo was sure was possible. So Yuji basically just began wailing on Hanami with really no difficulty. He's not killing Hanami because Gojo actually yelled. They need information out of her. So Yuji's more or less just trying to hit Hanami to knock her out, but he can't control his strength well enough to actually find the perfect amount of force to knock her out. But eventually Maki would tell Yuji to duck. He does. and she just hits Hanami in the face with a playful cloud, taking her out of the fight immediately. So Hanami's knocked out finally, but immediately Gojo would just mention that, oh, this was a diversion. Sukuna's fingers are gone, apparently. But as soon as they look away from Hanami vanished. And that was more or less due to Mahito flying and grabbing her. Yuji just mentioned that he can jump in and grab them both, but Gojo says, too trouble, just make sure Tengen's okay. And they go do that. So yeah. Now Maki actually asked Yuji for his training regimen, and due to just Yuji being stronger than usual, his training regimen is completely insane to Maki, but he does write it down for her. Which is basically like 500 kg shoulder press, that's 800 kg deadlift, just 800 to 500 and 800 kg everything. And he says that's the warm-up. Which Maki immediately does not want to know what the actual workout is, so she says, the warm-up is fine, leave me that. Now she has to work up to that. But also he does leave her a martial arts regimen, so, yeah. But we move on to probably now the curse, the tomb painting arc for the bridge. If I called it the bridge builder mission at any point in the story, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure I did. So Esson Kechizu, Yuji says he can handle them by himself, and Nobara should go with Megumi. She goes with Megumi, and Yuji decides that he'll take Esson Kechizu with one punch, or just one move, but they assume is a punch, which they don't believe he can do. But he appeared between them both, grabbing them both by the face, thumbing them together immediately. Now they're both knocked out, but immediately they both enter the whole like Tea Party mindscape thing where they see that they're brothers. Yuji lets them go, only to see their blood dripping from them, and Yuji basically cracked their skulls with how hard he hit them. Immediately he tries to save them, not knowing how to do anything to save them. But then he thought back, regrowing. Hanami. Then Toto being healed by Shoko. He didn't think there must be a way to heal people. So with this, he immediately would try to do anything in his power to do it. He even remembers that Sukuna had some ability to heal, he did it. So trying to remember all the times he's seen people heal, he begins trying to copy what he saw. It didn't work until he tried to do it on himself. When he remembered what Sukuna was doing when he fought Gojo, killing small injuries. But then he usually did it on himself. He wasn't really too injured, it was just more or less, he scraped his hands on the road. But then his hands healed from that. And he ended up trying to reflect that feeling, and pretty quickly, he healed Esson Kechizu. They're alive, they're just unconscious. Which made him just huff and just sigh. You guys both appearing at Tokyo Tech, throwing them at Gojo, telling them they're good. I'll explain a little later. Just keep them alive, but restrained. Gojo just looked at his phone and said, "Oh yeah, sure, whatever, go." Yuji vanished again and appeared underneath the bridge. Megumi had all of his frogs holding down the finger bearer, and he himself was also using Maximum Elephant to spray its back, basically stripping it of its skin. The finger bearer is basically being weighed down and blasted, almost dying. But Nobara would use her hairpin and kill it. Her hairpin technique and kill it. So yeah, they both win like that. Back to Tokyo Tech, they hear that Esson Kechizu are good guys. And this is where Tengen kind of talks about Kenjaku, and how Yuji is likely Kenjaku's son. Alright, sorry about that. So, Tengen kind of explains Kenjaku's whole thing, and mentions that, yeah, there's likely, Kenjaku mentioned they have more siblings. They're kind of in tubes, but they have more siblings. But they only have, they're definitely blood manipulation related. So with this, as Kechizu mentioned that, hey, we have another brother who works with Kenjaku. He can eat them, he'll get stronger. And Tengen mentioned, there's 6, and there's 3 of you, 2, and 2. You two would get two techniques. And then your brother would also have his own technique enhanced. That's about Yuji, what he do, but Tengen simply says, he doesn't need to be stronger than normal, he needs control of strength. He's not good at that, he needs to enhance that before learning to control blood manipulation. Which already has a strength enhancing technique. But don't give him more strength until you can control the strength he already has. So, yeah. Now with this, we go on to the whole Mekamaru thing, which goes on kind of normally. And Yuji would constantly train with Toto and Nanami, who are both more physical fighters, so they actually help Yuji control strength. So, yeah. Remember, they kind of form their own 3-man team. Nobara and Megumi are kind of pretty solid on their own already, so, yeah. But yeah, we go to Shibuya. And I'm gonna say Yuji's first fight, first it was Mei and Wee Wee. And Wee tries to basically roast Yuji, but he kind of gives the Saitama and Tatsumaki response where he's like, "Whose angry lost child is this?" And immediately Mamie's like, "He's not lost. He's my brother." Yuji immediately looks at her and says, He flirts with you. Is that not weird?" He says, "Oh, it's just sibling love." And he just says, "No, it's not," and just walks away. Now, Mei tries to chase after him, only to realize that he clears out the entire subway the moment he set foot in it. He just blitzed through it all, and at a walking pace, he killed every single curse. This was his walking pace. It's like Mach speeds. So yeah, but he kind of took out every curse pretty easily, including the smallpox deity, which you can see him coming. He kind of just slap and it's gone. So yeah. So with this, he leaves subway. Mei finally walks in. She's like, "What'd you do down there?" He's like, "Curse gone. Go flirt somewhere else. It's weird." So with this, he ends up finding some Kechizu, and they walk around Shibuya looking for teammates. Not teammates, but just people to help. But eventually, as they walk around, they find Awasaka. They have to fight him, and Megumi joins in. But immediately, as some Kechizu's like, "We got this. You go on. This is a brother battle." Now, usually when you punch Awasaka full force, and immediately Awasaka would not burst, but his entire shirt just vanishes, and his chest has a giant dent in it. He says, Did you punch me with my technique?" He throws up blood, and Yuji says, "I think so." But immediately as Awasaka throws up blood, Kechizu appears below him, and immediately would put rot on his face. He backs up wondering what's going to happen, until immediately, with one hand seal, Kechizu would make his entire face exploded with all the blood on it. And he says, "That's rot and blood manipulation combined." Well, not explode, kind of just immediately instantly decays and blood falls everywhere. Which can mimic not an explosion, but a lot of damage happening at once. Which usually just he doesn't even he doesn't a reaction. But he opens his mouth and vomit falls out. And Eso just simply says, "Poor taste, brother, poor taste," and they walk away. And he says, "Well, it was badass. It's not poor taste." He says, "It's what he said," and just walks away with Eso. But until they find Choso, well, first Nanako Mimiko, which is just the two try to fight, only for Kechizu or Eso just literally just piercing blood through their chest and they're done. That's the fight. Well, you should probably want two innocent girls dead so far. You should probably just block it. They end up trying to take him out with their phone, thinking it's the one that they try. Immediately, his body just tanks the attack, even though it was a technique, even though it was their technique. But he saves them. They end up mentioning, "Hey, we need to, get Sukuna to save our master." And they mention, Kenjaku and Geto. He's like, "Oh, do you just want Kenjaku to leave his body, or do you want Kenjaku to die and Geto comes back?" We know he's dead, so we want Kenjaku out of his body. He says, "Oh, just let me do that. Don't Sukuna do a thing. He'll kill you. I know for a fact he'll kill you." And he punches his hand, saying, "Yeah, tell him to kill them." Sukuna will kind of speak up from his hand, saying, Yes, you two would have been dead." Only reason Sukuna listens to Yuji is because the strong, or the weak listen to the strong. This is the best way to put it. The weak listen to the strong. So yeah. Then they go on to more or less just Choso arriving, and he fights Eson Kechizu instead. They mention that Yuji's their brother, just his mother is Kenjaku, not his father. Which confuses them both for a while, so they end up talking. But while they're talking, we go on to the entire group that has to fight Dagon and all them. So yeah. So Nanami in this one is actually a bit stronger. His Black Flash is even better actually. But where she does a lot of damage to Dagon. And so does Megumi, who trains his domain a lot more frequently, because he unlocked it earlier, which Gojo would help him train. So with this, Dagon actually does some fatal damage done. He loses his entire arm before Toji even arrives. But still, he was kind of winning. He lost an arm, though. When Toji arrived, he pretty easily finished up the job, which didn't take too long to do, honestly. So, yeah. And then if it's Toji versus Megumi, Megumi being able to actually avoid a lot of this with his strength and speed being a bit higher, Toji would throw a truck at him, he runs across the truck onto a different building to escape Toji as fast as he can. So yeah. But Yuji would see this, and as he tries to go get Megumi. Hold up. Alright, sorry about that. My brother's playing is kind of distracting. My brother, not my mother, I'm sorry. Okay. So Yuji would go back to, was like, just saw Megumi, and he's going to go and save him until until Jogo arrived. Yuji would see Jogo. Jogo actually, wants to treat these, offers up Sukuna's finger, saying, "You can eat these if you want." Usually knowing that he's going to die, he's like, he already knows he's going to be executed, but he's like, I can just hold back Sukuna until I die, and he'll die with me. But, I guess. Yuji eats the fingers, Sukuna tries to take over again, which actually is more close, but Yuji just holds him back even more, telling him to just screw off. And Sukuna would yell like from his cheek, saying, damn you, Itadori, I hate you. He says, yeah, you hate me and I'm stronger, shut up. It was most of them bickering the entire time. Jogo tries to back up slowly, only for such like Asoka to appear on both sides of his face and slap him. He's ready to burn them until Yuji would kick him in the chest, flying through a wall. But he realizes he has rot on his body. But immediately he realizes there's also blood on his face, which he's not bleeding. He's bruised, but he's not bleeding. But Asoka show their hands with obvious cuts, and they then say, sorry about this, but this is the easiest way to kill you. And then their blood erupts, destroying half of Jogo's face on both sides, leaving just the middle unscathed. I would say he looks a lot like, what was his name? Shit, hold up. He looks a lot like Hanayama at this point, with what Asoka did to his face. He's not dead, but he's badly injured. So with this, it immediately leads to more like them trying to, like, wonder how he survived. But then Choso would just aim his hand at him and just say, like, piercing blood, and immediately his entire lower half of his face is just blown apart, then it falls off, leading to his death. So yeah, he's dead already. But now Yuji decides to go to help Megumi. When he arrives, Toji tries to kill himself, but Yuji blocks the attack, and then throw Toji across the street. Megumi tells Toji, not tells Toji until he tells Yuji, he's gonna go check on everyone else, they're badly injured, and he runs off. But he runs off, he ends up summoning Mahoraga because he had Haruta, and he doesn't have enough energy to fight back. So Mahoraga is only okay to escape from Haruta. Haruta of all people, I hate it. But that was his only, like, ability he had right now. But yeah, so Yuji has to fight Toji, which doesn't really take too long because Toji can't do any damage. Remember, Yuji just grabs Playful Cloud from him and smacks him across the face, which kills him. So Yuji killed Toji. So, yeah, because he kind of stopped him killing himself, but then killed him himself. So, yeah. But yeah. So, now we move on to, I'm going to say, probably just Mahoraga, which probably SL Ketchizu and Choso are trying to handle, which they can't. But now, this is a big question, who's going to save Megumi? As Yuji's RCT is very low, and it is not great at all. But he's going to handle that after he kills Mahoraga. So he arrives and put him clash fist with Mahoraga. Basically, just as he clash fist, Yuji kind of evaporates Mahoraga's blade with the shock of his fist. So Mahoraga and him keep clashing, usually using varying levels of strength. Mahoraga's strength is getting bigger and bulkier and faster to keep up with Yuji. But eventually Yuji ends up tearing off his entire uniform except for his pants and his pants. That's kind of just the only thing that's left on it is pants. We really question what he's doing until they realize his muscles are kind of twitching. They're just getting bigger. But eventually his body, where muscle mass kind of just doubles in size a little bit, not doubles, it gets more toned. Then he says this is his unlimited form. There's no way he'd lose. Mahoraga goes in for a punch, only for Yuji to just basically appear above him, and slam both fists down, basically just a double hammer fist. Then he calls it just unlimited hammer, doing it over and over again, basically evaporating Mahoraga's upper body. And before Mahoraga can even regenerate from that, all Yuji does is just flick. He calls it Gaia Burst. In this flick, he doesn't even know how he does it, but he flows Crypt energy into it, and when he flicks, his Crypt energy would evaporate everything made of Crypt energy. So he evaporates Mahoraga. So he would land, and then he looks around, asking if anyone else is hurt. They say no, and Yuji would rush over Megumi and begin healing him. It doesn't fully restore him, but he's alive. So Yuji would tell Choso go bring him to Shoko. Then with this, Yuji goes on to try to find Mahito, as he knows he's here. So yeah, won't find Mahito, but find Nanami, and then he finds it. He's still in unlimited form because he ruined his clothes. But he would see Nanami about to die in Mahito's hands, but he would end up saving him by jumping in the way. And the thing is, Sukuna just simply tells Mahito, do not touch my soul. Do not ever touch it. And Yuji would finally adjust to knowing what a soul looks like and how to hit it. So immediately he would basically just flick Mahito again. Not again, but flick him. Immediately Mahito's entire, not half, but half of his torso just vanishes. Immediately we look at Yuji, fear in his eyes, and rush as fast as he can, trying to get away from Yuji. And he also tries to grow it, but due to Yuji being in his unlimited form, that's not coming back. He just evaporated the group energy in that half of his body. Mahito's the point where just dying, trying to escape, but ends up finding Toto, and Toto begins wailing on them as well. By the time Mahito looks around, he just sees Yuji, Toto, and Nanami surrounding him. And he basically gets the most deepest beating of his lifetime until he shrinks down and escapes. It's like a small animal. But then he eventually finds Kenjaku. Kenjaku absorbs him, all that. But Yuji knowing he made a promise to Naniko and Mimiko, he needs to get Kenjaku out of Geto's body. So immediately, as soon as he gets a chance to get up Kenjaku, he just does that. And immediately goes to kill him with a single punch. But only for Yuji to be frozen, but only his arm. He pretty easily breaks out of the ice, but now Kenjaku is trying to avoid him like the plague, knowing if he takes a single punch, even if he blocks it, he'll die. He even tells us Ume saying, if you take a punch, you're going to die, so there's no reason to try to fight him like face to face. They realize that their only option is basically range. Thing is, they do try range, but he just kind of yawns and says, I feel so weak, as he's been using his whole power for a while. But suddenly, as soon as he said he feels weak, he yawned and twitched. Now that twitch allowed him to avoid more ice. And this is his weakness mode, where he kind of he's very flimsy. Kind of like stupid Luffy. He's avoiding every attack until Yuki arrives, and that's kind of the end of the arc. But Nanami's alive, so's Nobara, so's Toto. Yeah. But yeah, this arc is honestly just Mahito doing nothing. He hurt Nanami a little bit, that's it. So yeah. But then we have at the end where Yuta will have to kill Yuji. But when he does actually impale Yuji by catching him off guard, his sword snapped, which he immediately is just confused by. But when his sword snapped, he really realized this is not my job, or this shouldn't be my job. So he tries to keep trying to attack Yuji, just with his attack failing. He even uses a few copied abilities, but still don't work. He'll just bonk him over the head, and that knocks him out right then and there. Then he leaves Rika coming out, only for Rika to get the same bonk and be knocked out. So, yeah. So this ends the entire Shibuya incident. But at the end, they do have to go find Akari and all that. So Yuji agrees to go find Akari still. But when it comes to Yuji versus Panda immediately just said, not me, and left. He's not fighting Yuji, because even if he takes a flick, he's going to die. So, yeah, that's kind of it. Then we have Hikari, which honestly would probably be Hikari trying to hit Yuji, not doing any damage. Then Yuji hits him once, he loses a limb. He goes into his domain, becomes immortal, only to get more damaged, and almost die again. Hikari isn't winning at all, so he quits. And joins Tengen inside. But then we get the Culling games, which in all honesty, when it comes to Hanyu and Haba, they can come into Yuji all they want, they're just going to break their neck. Hanyu comes into Yuji as soon as he enters the Culling games. Even from the sky, Yuji doesn't budge, and Hanyu's neck snaps, killing her. Haba tries to avenge Lady by cutting up Yuji in his propeller. His propellers get bent hitting Yuji, and his neck snaps. Hanyu and Haba were just bad at hitting Yuji, and that's how they die. Then finding Higuruma, Mai gladly gives up that location. They go find Mai. Well, not go find Higuruma. Yuji hasn't done shit aside from the pachinko machines. And even if he was guilty to that, the only thing he has is cursed energy being revoked, nothing more. Or actually, no, he actually did just murder Hanyu and Haba by accident. So even if that happens, I would say cursed energy being revoked still. So yeah, so the cursed energy is revoked, which Higuruma thinks oh, I'm going to kill you, take your points. He goes to hit Yuji, and just gets folded. No difficulty whatsoever. Higuruma still loses to Yuji over and over again. There's really no change in this arc aside from the fact that Yuji takes no damage whatsoever. And then we would have let's say Let's say Megumi, Nobara, and Toto versus... I'm saying them because they don't like Toto. They have history, so yeah. But Toto, Megumi, and Nobara versus Reggie. So we have explosive limb guy, claw guy, Remy, and Reggie. So Megumi versus Reggie, Toto versus like... Fuck, I keep forgetting the names, hold up. So Hazunoki versus like Toto. Hazunoki's the bomb limb guy. Toto's pretty easily able to avoid all this and land just like consecutive blows that just knock out Hazunoki a lot. Like what I'm comparing is like Tobey Maguire versus Doc Ock, where he's knocking him out with every punch. But the thing is, it takes like 3 punches, like 1 punch out, 1 punch awake, 1 punch out, and that's the fight. It wasn't really too hard. Then Nobara versus Hardy, the claw guy, and pretty quickly, just like hairpin or straw doll, hairpin or piercing. One technique ends the fight. Hardy is not a strong character. He's fast and he has claws. That is it. Nobara can use Black Flash. She gets faster. She gets stronger. That is it. Hardy stands no chance. But also we have Toto, who would put hands on Remy even if he gets in the way. So one way or another, Hardy is losing. Flat out, he loses. So then this leaves Nobara and Yuji, Nobara and Toto to fight Reggie with Megumi. So when Reggie tries to like drop like a semi-truck on Megumi, all Toto does is appear, Black Flash, punches through the building, and immediately Reggie's like, okay, I'm stunned. Nobara, hammer to the skull. Immediately Reggie is stumbled, or just befuddled. Megumi then can just run and then use like his jetpack blade and cut him in half. That'd be the fight. So yeah, they end up killing Reggie's crew before they meet Takaba. So Hazunoki's probably not dead. He's just very knocked out. So they go upstairs. They meet Takaba. Takaba's their new ally. That's the arc. Now Maki actually had a big change. Maki trained like Yuji. He helps her do that. But at this point, when it comes to her versus like... First, the Zen Clan, I was already just no diff, so I can go over it. When it comes to her versus, Naoya, like Curse Naoya, she's already fully awakened her potential. Like, she trained really hard, and Yuji helped her. So, she didn't really need a mentor, she just needed someone to understand her, and Yuji did. So she awakened her full power already, has decent skill. She folds Curse Naoya before he even uses his domain. Sumo guy was just there for fun. Yeah, there's really nothing going into this for Maki, besides from the fact that she got to kill Naoya again, and easier. So yeah. But then we have Yuta, who has a whole new sword, and happens to be Dragon Bone. Because Maki didn't have any other sword, and neither did anyone else, so Dragon Bone. Maki still has a split katana, so yeah. But yeah, so Yuji uses Dragon Bone now, and he's pretty damn good at using it, which makes a few fights a little bit easier, actually. But his fight is honestly not any different, aside from the fact that he has to like kind of copy Yuji. Not copy him, but tries to like repeat what he does. He's working out a lot too, so yeah. If anything, he has like a speed increase, that's it. So, yeah. But we move on to probably the next fight, being, probably what happens at Tengen's like whole thing with Kenjaku, which would be Yuki, Eso, Kechizu, Choso, and Nanami, I'd say. Those 5 versus Kenjaku. And Choso is kind of just a double special grade. His blood manipulations are on a higher scale, to the point where he just... Well, first he already has his own blood, so he uses that. But it's the point where he kind of just converts blood or converts curse energy into blood. Due to him being a really high special grade now, plus eating two more special grade curses, he kind of has not infinite, but has a lot of both, point where like it seems like it's infinite. He'd never run out. But by the end of the fight, Eso Kechizu, like all of them are still injured and beaten. Plus the non-immunity ratio is also very helpful, actually. So that's the point where Kenjaku leaves, and the point where he has to like just stay there for a while because he'd die if he moved. Like he's just too injured to move. That's just how it ended. Like the point where he almost died from Yuki, Nanami, Choso, Eso, and Kechizu. But I would say at the end, the people who died probably would be Eso, Kechizu, and Yuki. Those are the 3 who died. And everyone basically died, leaving all like their energy to Choso, saying like they had a binding vow which basically like if we die, our Christian energy, like our post mortem Christian energy and our techniques go to our brother, as there is post mortem Christian energy. So basically post mortem, their Christian energy goes to Choso, same with the technique, it goes to him as well. So he wakes up basically just as strong as ever, and you know how much Christian energy his body has now, kind of just a quartet of Christian energy. Like a quartet of special grades gave him a Christian energy. And now he also has rot as well. So I basically say that his Christian energy is just so much that he might actually just unlock RGT by accident. Not infinite, but it's a lot to the point where his body kind of just starts doing it unintentionally sometimes. So yeah. But then I'd probably go on to just like... Actually, at some point while Yuji's sleeping, Sukuna probably try to form a binding vow to get Yuji under his control, but just give him enough time to transfer bodies to Megumi. But I can see happening while they're talking to Angel, like while Angel talks about the fallen one, Sukuna reveals that's him. Yuji's like, that's bad. Yuji would try to sleep on it, but immediately, as he sleeps, he's brought into his mindscape. Sukuna makes a deal. Yuji didn't understand it. He comes back out. Sukuna finds Megumi, takes over Megumi's finger, or Sukuna's finger in Megumi's mouth, and Megumi is now the new vessel Sukuna. Sukuna pretty quickly does escape, but now he's kind of terrified of being hit by Yuji, as he has to avoid Yuji, and he's not that fast. So all he does is actually just kind of hide in the shadows. He just relies on that. So yeah, hiding in shadows like a little bitch, and he does that for a while. Like he does that until the versus Sukuna arc. He does that the entire time. He hides in shadows and escapes and then trains. Well, first eats more fingers and trains. But yeah. So we kind of move on to after him eating fingers and training, like the showdown between him and Gojo first. Well, the thing is, Gojo kind of trained with Yuji most of the time because Yuji would be his only threat. Like Yuji's stronger than ever at this point. So Gojo basically trains his infinity to try to push away Yuji's punches. So this, when it comes to Gojo versus Sukuna, Gojo's dominating more than ever. Like even when it comes to Sukuna, even learning his world cutting slash, it does hit Gojo, but doesn't kill him immediately. Gojo's actually like he's dangling, like his body's not right. He's slumped over because there's a giant open wound in his stomach, but didn't go fully through him because infinity is much more durable. Like I would say his guts are hanging out. That's about it. But he can't really fully heal that because he's losing blood avidly. Like he's avidly losing blood. So he's found and grabbed, but probably Yuji. But Kashima would still intervene to go throw hands. So yeah. Now it's Kashima versus the very injured Sukuna. Even if he transformed, he's still very much injured and low on Christian energy. So they fight. Sukuna isn't losing, but he's being pushed. But he does still kill Kashima. That ends the fight right then and there. But now Yuji arrives with Higuruma. Courtroom. That happens. Not too hard to just go about. But even when that fight happens and all that, when it comes to like Higuruma passing on the like Executioner's Blade, Yuji grabbed it, and before Sukuna can even blink, he's cut in half. So regardless, Sukuna dies in this fight by Yuji's hand because I want it that way. So because Sukuna cannot react, Yuji kills him with the Executioner's Blade. He's just too fast. So yeah, so Higuruma doesn't die. He heals later on, but also Yuji heals him when he comes back from killing Kenjaku. So yeah. So regardless or not, Sukuna and Kenjaku are both dead. Tengen's released, so that's good. No merger happens. Yeah, all well that ends well. So Kenjaku's dead, so Sukuna cut in half. Yeah, that's the sense of the story. We'll also just about Megumi. He can come back at some point by just like he was hit in the soul, and Megumi came back from the part of the soul that wasn't hit. So, yeah, that's the story. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe for more. Adios.